All right, looks like we're live on TikTok, soon to be live on YouTube as well. All right, live on YouTube as well. I will give people just a second to join while I set up chats. But welcome everybody. Just setting up my situation. If anyone wants to work on the first clue while I do this, we could even get a head start on this puzzle. Okay. Almost there. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Crossword Live, where we solve one of Arkadium's crossword puzzles together. So, my name is Jack. I will guide us through this crossword, but it's always more fun when this is collaborative. So you can always see the clues in this green panel here. And if you think you know an answer, then shout it out, and I will try to incorporate everyone's feedback and guide us through this puzzle. Malika, hello. Annabelle, hello. So let's dive into the puzzle. We got at 1 across, book leaf. 14 across is power source. And 17 across is ticket part. All right, 3 clues to start the day. Hello, Karush Shanta. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Apologies. But how are you at crosswords? Craig Snyder, welcome. Do you know a 4-letter word for book leaf or for power source? Tommy, sea never dry. Someone knows. Letting people gather. What's 1 down? Italian staple. Maybe that's referring to Italian food. And 2 down is storage room. And 3 down is cheese type. All right, a lot of food in this upper section. Italian staple and a cheese type. Sandra Sanchez joining. You must know your cheeses. The last few days, we've really increased our speed on these puzzles. Everyone joining in, supplying answers. Who's going to get the first answer today? Who's going to get the first answer? Jose Rubin, maybe? Abel? We got a 4-letter word for book leaf, a 4-letter word for power source, a 4-letter word for ticket part. Peggy Rodriguez, do you know a 4-letter word for ticket part? And what do we have here? Ocean currents. That's a new one. So maybe I'll get the ball rolling here. Try to supply some answers myself. The one I feel most confident about is this one, 17 across ticket part. It looks like a stub, right? Like when you tear your ticket to when you're going into a concert or a movie, they give you the stub back. Where do they take the stub? I can't remember. So I feel pretty good about stub, and now let's check the crosses, see if these letters help us get anything here. We got 1 down, Italian staple, with an S in the middle. We got storage room with a T in the middle. Cheese type with a U in the middle. Hi, Joanna. Happy Monday. And the Firewolf, looks like you're pretty good. I don't know, I'm a lot better when everybody helps. I'll tell you that. Implant with a B in the middle. What do we think? Italian staple, so the Firewolf, what do you think? I'm thinking this is Italian food. What's a staple Italian food product? 5 letters with an S in the middle. What do you think, Firewolf? Or do we feel better about storage room or cheese type? Nice. Joanna coming in with the first answer of the day. Pasta. Love it. Yeah. That is indeed an Italian food staple. Pasta. Nice work. All right, let's see if this P helps, the A helps. The best part about crosswords is once you get a word, you get more information about all the crosses. So now we have a P in place for book leaf. Gouda, toxic slushies. Nice. I wasn't sure about that, but that definitely fits. Cheese type, 5 letters, U in the middle. Solid work, solid work. And this G is looking helpful on book leaf, right? That looks like page now. Like a leaf of a book is a page. Well done. Hans writes schnitzel. I don't know where that fits. Let me know if you have a place in mind for schnitzel. But 2 down, storage room, A blank T blank blank. And then we got implant. Not so easy. And what's 14 down? Power source. Ocean currents. This one seems gettable. What do we think? This one seems gettable. And this long one we haven't looked at yet. Private school. A blank A and then a bunch of Esme. Nice work. Welcome back. Tides. Indeed, for ocean currents. That makes sense. That fits nicely. Any progress on this storage room? Any peeps from Austria, Arkadium asks? Attic. Yeah, Esme just cleaning up this section. Power source. Crossing implant. Hello, Sergey. Welcome back. And private school. Jacqueline Perkins, welcome. Adam for power source. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm trying to understand the clue. I mean, it definitely fits. I think you're right. But are they thinking power source like in a, I don't know, in an atom bomb? I guess you get a lot of power from splitting an atom. Maybe that's the idea, or maybe I'm missing something. An implant looks like embed. That was kind of tough to see. I kept saying implant, but I think it's more, the emphasis should be on the second syllable. Implant is to embed. And Toxic Schluz and Andre coming in with Academy. Very nice. Now we're rolling. Esme, Joanna, everyone knew Academy. Sweet. Sweet. All right, now we're in this together. Broker's Advice, SE, with 2 more letters. And what do we got here? Brunch, for example, M with 3 more letters. And yeah, Jacqueline writing sell. That's definitely something a broker would advise. Nice job. Sergey also had sell. And brunch is looking like a meal. Brunch is one of the core meals of the day, right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and brunch. Okay, Conductor Bernstein. Who knows this one? Who knows this one? Esperanza, do you know the Conductor Bernstein? And let's also, actually, let's check this long one here. What do we think? Superman's gal. And it says that it's 2 words. Okay, 2 proper nouns in the grid here. We got the Conductor Bernstein. Yeah, Joanna writes, right, what about second breakfast? That's true. You have your breakfast, you have your second breakfast, then you have your brunch, and then you have your lunch. Superman's gal, 2 words. Anyone into comics? Firewolf, you know Superman's gal? And let's check this L as well. Embankment. 5-letter word for embankment starting with an L. Not clear. At least to me. All right, so I'll leave these floating. Esme coming in with Lois Lane. Very nice. Great to see Lois Lane in a puzzle. And now we got all these letters doing some work for us in this new section. Run easily, starting with an L. Stare, starting with an O. Islamic nation, starting with an I, and then a tennis term. Any tennis players in chat? What do we think? Run easily. Yeah, Sergey's writing set. That sounds good to me. Like game, set, and match. I can't think of a better answer for that. I think you're right, Sergey. Socrates' student. Toxic Slushies writes Iraq for Islamic Nation. Yeah, very plausibly. We can check this Q. Arkadium also writes Iran. Yeah, Andre saying or Iran. So maybe let's check this cross, right? Like, we can leave it blank for now and see what it is. I mean, even without checking the cross, an N here looks more likely because there are not many three-letter words that end in a Q. But maybe we'll see. Poets still. Ooh, not so easy. Not so easy. And what do we have here? Socrates' student. Anyone remember their ancient philosophy? A lot of names in the grid today. Bernstein, Lois Lane, and this is also, yeah, Plato, B.R.B. Elitsis. Sorry for the mispronunciation, but nice work getting Plato. Indeed, Socrates' student. So who knows the four-letter word for run easily and to stare? Four letters, O blank, L blank. And what do we have here? Fairy tale monster. Somehow I didn't even look at this clue yet. Fairy tale monster. And poets still. So this is a way to say still, but the way that a poet would write it. So it's going to be some contraction or some kind of old-timey way of saying it. We only got a couple. Yeah, toxic slushies coming in with ogle. I think that's correct. To stare at someone. And this G should help here. Not many words look like this. This has got to be an ogre, right? Fairy tale monster like Shrek. Nice work, everybody. Yeah, we still don't know if this is Iran or Iraq, but hopefully the crosses will help us. Run easily. Run easily is to lope. It's kind of an unusual word. It's not a word that I use very often. And now we have this EE blank. So it's either EEQ or EEN. And I'm thinking EEN looks better. I think Andre says Shrek is life. Yeah, I must agree there. You're not wrong. Yeah, BRB agrees that it's EEN. Like, I think this is a contraction for the word even, like even so, like still, even that, still. I could be wrong about what's intended here, but either way, I think EEN is correct. So we survived that section just by a hair. And new horizons await. So we have 5 down, average. All right, BRB confirming that they agree with me about Ian. I don't even want to pronounce it. Ooh, more tennis. I do not know my tennis, so I definitely need help with you guys. Help from you guys. Sampras of tennis, anyone? And Bard of blank. Pete Sampras. Okay, thank you, Sergey. I think Sergey got the other tennis clue as well. Do you play tennis? Are you just knowledgeable? User also got Pete. Nice work. Andre. Okay, everyone knows Pete Sampras but me. Average. 5 down. All people. Okay. This might have been tough to see, but I think with the letters in the grid, this is gettable. Par, toxic sludge, par for average. That makes sense. Yeah. That's like on a golf course. Par is sort of the expected number of tries. Yeah, nice. Okay, and then Sergey writing everyone for all people. It always feels good to put a long slot in. Feels like suddenly there's a lot less white space in the grid. Dress for Caesar. Alexander also knew everyone. Nice work. Dress for Caesar. Bard of blank. Anyone know what this is referring to? Hi, Laura. Welcome back with Toga. And only one more in this section. We're cruising now. Mystery. Not immediately sure. We can check this long one. Enrolled. Enrolled. So this is going to be a past tense verb. You know, when the clue is in the past tense, the answer is in the past tense as well. So it's likely going to be an ED back here, but not necessarily. We can check 22 across as well. Anger. Four-letter word for anger, starting with RA. And all of these crosses are going to reveal a mystery to us. This entry is a mystery. Nice. People coming in with rage. Got to agree with that. Toxic slushies writes registered. Yeah, good. That looks great. Fits beautifully. To register is to enroll. Love it. Love it, love it. Anyone know what this is referring to? Bard of what? And 19 down is singe. And what's this? Housekeeper. Housekeeper. Four-letter word for housekeeper. Plus, we still have a conductor named Bernstein hanging, flapping in the wind here, wanting some attention. The Firewolf says you deserve to have more subs. I must agree with you there. I think we have a lot of fun on these streams, and other people would enjoy them. Nice. Viere writes enigma for mystery. That's looking good. What a nice word. And Sergey saying Leonard for Bernstein. I like that as well. Leonard Bernstein. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So now we have an M for this four-letter word. Housekeeper. And anyone know this word? To singe? Nice. Laura Redding maid. Sear. I feel like this is kind of an uncommon word in daily life, at least in my daily life. But it does mean to singe, like to get a little burn. I guess you sear meat. So maybe it's not uncommon. Maybe it's not uncommon. Groom's vow. Okay, when they tell us it's two words, not many things this could be. This has got to be, I'll supply this one. This has got to be I do, right? At the altar, you exchange vows. You say I do. Esme knew it. Nice. Tit for blank. That's an idiom. An idiom meaning, yeah, tit for tat. Laura knew that one. Chores. Five-letter word for chores, starting with a T. And blank acid. Who remembers their chemistry? What do we got here? 10 down is modify. Tasks. Esme writing tasks for chores. That looks right. Gotta be. Toxic slushies knew that too. And let's check the down. Joanna, amino acid. Toxic slushies knew that too. Good work, guys. Amino acid. Yeah, like the building blocks of proteins, I think. Lays turf. Understood. Royal address. And modify. And all of this is broadcast blank. So I'll give people a second, but we have a lot of letters in the grid here. I feel like this section is no longer putting up real resistance. BRB writes sire for royal address. I agree with that. Like a by address they mean like title, I think. Or a way to address someone. Sire. Lays turf, I think, is sods. So sod is that like artificial grass that they roll out onto lawns. Andre writing amend for modify. That looks great. And then everyone A resounding chorus saying new for understood. And that all revealed broadcast news. Always good to check the crosses, good crossword hygiene, and this fits the clue beautifully. So I think we nailed it in this section. Good work, everybody. We're flying today. We're flying. Yeah, Jacqueline Perkins, you do seem into crosswords. Do you solve a lot of puzzles? Hi, Bonastasio. Welcome back. Bonastasio, new news. At no time, crossing embankment. What's that all about? And let's check this little O. This little piece of information given to us at 45 down. Shelley work. Laura says never for at no time. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Embankment. Anyone know this word? And 42 down is to soften. And we can check this long one. E. Rubber bands. A long word for rubber bands starting with an E. What do we think? We could check this R as well. Most beloved. Most beloved. And a Shelley work. Anyone know who the Shelley they're referring to is? Laura, nice. Elastics. That's gotta be it. And I love that feeling of now this section has completely opened up for us. We have so many letters in the grid. They're going to be super helpful once we make our way over there. So, a ton of names. Alexander knew elastics as well. Nice job. Yeah, a ton of names in the grid today. We got Plato, we got Leonard Bernstein, we got the Bard of Avon. Then we got Shelley. Who knows who this Shelley is? What would they be responsible for? Andre writes dearest. I like that for most beloved. Yeah, that seems very, very likely. Someone who's most beloved is dearest. Yet again, there's agreement between the clue and the answer. This is most beloved, so the answer should be a superlative. It's dearest. If it was more beloved, the answer would be dearer. Great work. And then an icicles spot. Yeah, Toxic Slushy says or for Shelley work, but I actually think it's ode. An ode is a type of poem, like Ode to a Nightingale, and it's a poem that's kind of dedicated to the bird nightingales. And so Shelley was a poet. Okay. We got icicles spot, 4-letter word with an E. Fatima, do you know icicles spot? And what's this? Creature, starting with an A. And have we even looked at this long one? Carbon and gold, for example. What do those two things have in common? Yeah, and we looked at this one before, soften. 4 letters for soften. How are people feeling? 47, all male party. Nice. Toxic Slushy's coming in with animal for creature. That looks good. Yet another name in the grid. Who knows the actor Connery? Classic actor. Sergey writes stag. Yeah, stag party for an all-male party. I think that's right. And yeah, Arkadium agrees. BRB knows Sean Connery. Nice work. Anyone know where icicles hang? What do we think? EA blank blank. And all right, let's elements. Alexander saying elements. Just as I'm about to move on, we get a long entry here. Nice work. Yeah, carbon and gold are both elements on the periodic table. Great work. Great work. Does that help us see this? Embankment. What do we think? And what's this M doing? Childhood disease, starting with an M. What do people think? Man, these go so much faster when we work together. It's amazing. Alexander writes level for embankment. Yeah, possibly. We can check the cross. Possibly. Measles. Toxic slushies. And Laura also knew measles. Nice work. Yeah. So that's got to be right? That just fits so well. The M is correct. But soften and lays, I'm not loving. So what's the... BRB says, I think the icicles one might be eave. Yeah, I think you're right. So an eave is like a little overhang on a house, and it's often where you see icicles forming in the winter. Great work, BRB. BRB Elitsis. Horrid. Oh, but wait, we were on 42. I think there's an error somewhere. Because this isn't really a word. It definitely, and even if it is a word, it definitely doesn't mean soften. So what's the issue? I'll put in as means vile while we think about this. Horrid is vile. Good. So what do we think? Where do we think the error is? Yeah, Laura writes ease. So to soften is to ease. Like soften someone's pain, maybe you ease their pain. And so the embankment was a levee. Nice. Yeah, level fit, and level is definitely a word. But yeah. People are agreeing. So this is like I drove my Chevy to the levee and the levee was dry. All right, let's do this section here. We have a lot already in this section. We haven't even looked at anything. A Midwest airport. So this is Midwest, US. Anyone know this? And we can check the crossers. DDE's predecessor. So I think this is referring to a U.S. president. This is going to be the initials of a U.S. president, and whoever came before them, their three initials. I know chat tends to be pretty international in these, so a lot of U.S.-specific stuff in this section. Toxic Slushies knows O'Hare. Chicago, baby. Are you from Chicago? Or you spent some time there? That gives us an H here, if that helps. Yeah, O'Hare Airport, exactly. It's the major airport in Chicago. One of the busiest airports in the United States. Laura says the surrealist painter is Salvador Dali. Love it. Yet another name in the grid. Nice, from Chicago. Well, this puzzle is speaking to you. All right, funny man, blank idol. Yet another name. It's amazing. Bonastasio also knew Dali. Nice. And what's this one? Carter's Party, abbreviation. I have no idea what this is referring to. Luncharoni, do you know? Carter's Party, what is that? Esme writes Eric for Eric Idle. Yeah, that looks right. Maheen writes Dem. Interesting. Oh, Carter like Jimmy Carter. Wow. So also like multiple U.S. presidents in this section. Okay, so and Bonastasio knew it as well. So Jimmy Carter was a Democrat, and the abbreviation for Democrat is Dem. Oof, nice. I thought Carter was referring to a profession, like one who carts or something. So I was like, what kind of party do Carters attend, and who are Carters? All right. Thanks for keeping me straight here. New York baseball team. And what was this? Oh, cut. I don't think we even saw this. Laura, fast with Mets. Nice. All right, just like that, only one letter left in this section. This must have been a tough section for non-American folks. Laura writing slit for cut. Great. So I think HST is Harry S. Truman, and DDE is Eisenhower. So Truman preceded Eisenhower in the presidency. Whew. All right, good work, everybody. And now we only have this bottom strip of the puzzle left. Yeah, we're almost there. And what do we got? Incline. 5-letter word for incline, starting with an S. And let's check some of these crosses. A laboratory bottle for 4 letters. What's 64? Agreement to marry. 68 is locale. Toxic Slushy's writing stare for incline. Possibly, like staircases take you up? Is that the idea? But Esme writes slant, which also seems to fit. And Laura writing engagement for agreement to marry, which definitely makes sense. So let's write that in first. Sergey also knew engagement. People are writing slope. Oh man, apparently there are a ton of 5-letter words that could fit incline. Slide. Wow. Okay. So we're really going to need some crosses here. But this A, I think, limits our options, right? If engagement is correct for agreement to marry, then this can't be slide or slope. So someone has guessed slant and someone has guessed stare. So these are both still live options. And maybe we'll let the crosses do the work for us. A blank whiz. And the exclamation means you should picture it like a quotation, like someone shouting, blank whiz. And what would be the first word of that exclamation? 60 down is matures with a G in the second slot. Andean mountain native. Interesting. Okay. Toxic Slushies knows G-Whiz. Good, good. And Esme and Laura both writing ages for matures, right? So like if your wine matures, it ages, or if a person matures, they age. Great work. Savor. Savor. And locale. What do we think? And what's this one here? Laboratory bottle. Laura writes taste. Laura and Esme both writing taste. You guys are really in sync today. Taste for savor. That looks right. Yeah, Toxic Slushies knew that too. Suit item. And an Andean mountain native. Who are the natives of the Andean mountains? Or the Andes, I guess. Inca, yeah, good work. Luncharoni, I think your first answer of the day, Inca. Great, great contribution, thank you. Yeah, we're chipping away at this section. We're chipping away because we're working together. Laboratory bottle. I haven't seen anyone shout this one out yet. Yeah, Esme writes, I think it's slant. Yeah, I'm starting to agree. That was your original guess, and the crosses are working out. It definitely fits the clue perfectly. I agree. I think slant is what was intended for 52 down. And Laura says vial, vial, and slant work well together. Great work. And that just leaves us one letter left in this section. Teamwork is carrying us through. Locale, suit item. Yeah, and Sergey was the first to get it. S, nice work. A suit. Part of a 3-piece suit is a vest, and then a locale is a scene, a place. Great. Wow. And we haven't even looked in this section, but we only have 4 squares to fill. Ooh, feed the kitty. This is kind of an idiomatic clue. It's not as straightforward as it seems. And 72 across. Yeah, Arkadium doesn't want to stop. It's true. It's always a little sad when we get to the end. There's a moment of rejoice, and then it's like, oh, but we got to say goodbye. Luckily, the fun doesn't have to stop. Arkadium has a million crosswords. You can solve them on your own, or you can join me tomorrow, because we're here every day solving these crosswords together. Suffer defeat is to lose. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. And what do we have? Comedian J. This puzzle is chock full of names. Who knows the comedian Jay? Yeah, Laura knew. Jay Leno. And then a kickoff gadget. T blank E. And crossing feed the kitty. Not the easiest cross in the puzzle. Who knows what feed the kitty refers to? And a kickoff gadget. What's that referring to? Yeah, so Luncharoni writes ante. Yeah, feed the kitty is slang. Like in poker, everyone at the table has to give some chips before you start the hand. That's called anteing. And slang for like the pot that is called the kitty sometimes. It's poker slang. Feed the kitty is to ante up your chips. Good job, Luncharoni. And I think kickoff gadget is referring to American football. I think, because kickoff is a time in American football when you kick the football, and I think you perch it on a tee before doing that. All right. Everything makes sense in the world, and just like that, we only have one section left in this puzzle. Approaching record time for this. Lucky dice roll. 5 letters. Take off. I don't know if this is take off like take off your clothes or take off like an airplane takes off. I'm not sure. Snaky letters. Interesting. Profits. Sergey writes 6s. Yeah. I think at least in some games, 6s are a lucky dice roll. That seems very plausible to me. If you get 2 6s, that's like the highest roll that 2 dice can give you. Ooh, although this X is a little concerning, isn't it? Flower container starting with an X. Making me nervous. Gaggle members. What do we think? JV21PT writes, isn't 54 7? Yeah, that I think is a solid correction. Lucky dice roll is 7. What is that? The game craps? If you rolling a 7 is a good thing? I'm not super familiar with craps, but that V looks better for flower container, because now that looks like a vase. Yeah, JV. Nice work. Good correction. X just couldn't have been right to start a flower container. Luncharoni writes a gaggle of geese. That's fun to say. Alexander coming in with take off is to leave. Yeah, so I guess it was more in the airplane sense. Or in the human sense. I guess a human can take off and that means they're leaving. Awesome. You guys are making swift work of this puzzle. Snaky letters. Profits. S-E-E blank blank. And then we have, Laura writes S's, yeah. So I think this is really spelling out all these S's are snaky letters. They kind of look like snakes with all their curves. Continually and lock blank. Who knows their locks? Only 2 letters left in this entire puzzle. Who's going to get them? Yep, Luncharoni coming in with Loch Ness. Esme knew that as well. 1 letter continually and profits. This is not the easiest. Yeah, 72. Laura writes ever. So that would make this an R. And I think they're referring to prophets as seers, like people who see into the future. Not the easiest word. So I'm gonna take a dramatic pause while I hover over the R key, see if it's right. If it's not right, we'll get some kind of warning message, I think. But if it is right, yay, we get confetti. Nice work. Well done, everybody. Pat yourselves on the back. You guys crushed that puzzle. I had a ton of proper nouns in the grid. I didn't even mention Pete Sampras when I was rattling off all the names in the grid. Leno. I feel like proper nouns always make crosswords a little harder because you sort of either know them or you don't. You can't kind of guess them. But you guys really made smooth work of this. Nice job. This is always fun to do together. Check out Arkadium's games. They got more crosswords. They got other word games, and non-word games. They've got everything. And we'll be back here tomorrow where we do this called the Daily Crossword Live because we do this daily. So come back. We'll have a fresh puzzle, but the same